Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We're playing a Pale Draconian of Hepleocal Ghana. I I went back to that mode where I was like, I wanted to say what tournament this was part of or something, but it's not. We're just playing for funsies. And I keep forgetting to breathe steam, so like the fact that I'm a Pale Draconian has not had much of an impact yet. I think what we're going to do is go to Orc first. A Wraith. Is Josephine around, or is this just like a random spawn? I guess it's just random. Alright. Let's tab it a bit. We're not doing a lot of damage. There we go. So, does the Skenderans reach the end of line of sight? Not quite. It reaches one away from edge of line of sight. Okay. Gnolls. What are a bunch of... I mean, like, gnolls can spawn here, but they're not exactly common, I don't think. Right, let's go upstairs to rest. Fanar. Do I have any cold resistance? I'm not so keen on fighting Fanar, honestly. Does this not give you the chills? Let's just annotate this as a scary place and move on. Dungeon 11 seems safer than fighting Fanar to me. I mean, he's not exactly the kind of monster you expect to see when you head to Orc, but of course uniques can turn up in a lot of unusual places. Here's a great dazzling spray. Now, it's also sort of a great Iskenderans if you hit the monster in the middle and it blows up. But here, like, we're guaranteed to hit 3 of them, right? Like, that's got to be better. Yeah, we don't need your help, International. I got this. But if you could help with the Orc Warrior, that would be great. It may, before too long, be time to spend a bit more experience on our conjurations and so on. Like, Dazzling Spray is doing okay right now. Ooh, Wand of Paralysis. It's doing okay, but it could stand to be better. Can she see invisible? She can. So that'll help with the shadow. Oh no, we killed it before it went invisible. Whatever. Anyway, just having, like... more damage would be great. Let's just Skenderans this guy. International is on fire. Alright, I'm gonna back off. This doesn't seem like it's going that great. And we'll just go elsewhere. What? Wow, I'm glad they weren't adjacent to the stairs. What a staircase, good heavens. Any one of these monsters would be a big threat. All 3 of them, plus another centaur. Yikes. This is like a big no-no here. Let's try the last staircase. So, Dungeon 11 is starting to look a little bit out of our grasp here. May wish to reconsider my plan to leave Fanar alone. I'm not sure. Maybe it's better to go back to Lair than it is to fight Fanar. But it's looking like there's some pretty nasty stuff here on... Let's identify that Wand of Paralysis stat. Good. 12 charges is quite a few. Well, this should get... We should get Cyclops' attention, right? No? Alright. Come with me, sir. Anyway, paralysis is, you know, a better version of confusion, right? I think it is a bit less likely to hit, maybe? Misses International and hits me. Well, that's rude. Is he out of rocks yet? I think so. No? Well, we'll just run him out of rocks the hard way, I guess. Oh yeah, we're wearing our repel missile scarf. That's cool. Okay, he seems to have gotten tired of throwing rocks, which makes me think he's probably out. So I think the thing to do is lure him to up here. Also, let's shut this door. We're beset on all sides. I mean, we can get out, no problem. I'd just like to sort of deal with one of the monsters? I don't know, I guess not. See you later, losers. I'll take this staircase. I don't know, I had planned to, jeez. What happened to International? Jeez. Centaur shot through me and hit her, I guess. Alright, well, this is a lot of monster damage output. So I'm gonna run back to the stairs. If they chase me to the stairs, which they will, they're not nearly as big a threat. Right, I am perfectly happy to be in melee with a Centaur warrior, I think. It's being at range with him that I'm not happy with. Yeah, see? Handled him all by myself. Didn't need International's help. Just one charge on that Wand of Confusion and, you know, win a coin flip. And we had him taken care of. That's something we won't be able to do with the Hydra. They have too much magic resistance. Or too much HD or something. At any rate, hexes don't tend to do very well against them. And I forget whether it's because they have MR or whether because they have HD. I think it's HD. But, you know, Hydras you can run away from, so you don't really need to have something to deal with them like you do for Centaurs. So here's a troll. We should do pretty well to confuse him as well. Let's try setting him on fire first. Yeah, pretty good. And Blink is at 4%, which is fine for now, I guess. We'll just work on fighting and dodging. So now the only big threat left on this floor is that Hydra, right? We took care of the Centaurs. Oh, there's a Cyclops. He's not too bad, though, because you can run away from him very easily. Speak of the devil. Okay. Let's do this. Not happy to see that miss. Do I need to train more of something to get Conjure Flame to work more reliably? I'm surprised my Lightning Rod hasn't recharged yet. Do they, like... Does it only recharge when it's at 0? I would like to find that out, because I've waited... I emptied my Lamp of Fire at the same time as I spent one charge, a quarter of my Lightning Rod, and so I would have expected it to charge up, but it hasn't. So maybe you're expected to use it all 4 times, but I don't think you should be required to. That's very strange. I should look into that after this episode. Alright, he is now on fire. And I could try, like, confusing him. It's not a high chance to work, but I mean, I guess it's fine. I'll try tabbing him once, see how bad that is for me. He didn't get a chance to attack back. That was fine. I think that the fire should take care of him pretty quick. Yeah. Okay. Oh, still a bit stressful there. That could have gone much worse. Let's just pull one ugly thing upstairs, I think is the plan. Okay. And this staircase is no longer a big nightmare. International is not damaged, so let's head back down the stairs. Very good. It was a red ugly thing, so it was willing to step into the fire. Since it had fire resist, I figured it would be okay. Wrong. Alright, so here's that Cyclops again. He's blind, and now let's try blowing him up. Ow. But we can... International's about to die, so if we tank for her, that's greatly increasing our damage output. I think it's well worth it. And we got him. Go back upstairs to rest rather than fighting the Wraith while damaged. Come back down to finish him off. He's gone. Alright, whatever. There's a lot of orcs. I'm kind of tempted to do something like this. This, maybe? Miscast anyway. Why do I bother aiming? How about this? That ought to hit most of them. If I do this, the adder's gonna set it off prematurely. I don't know. I don't need to fulminant prism this at all. I can just tap it. Why mess with possible noise? Even though, like, I was figuring it would be fine because, like, we've explored most of the floor. There shouldn't be anything nearby that's gonna be terribly dangerous. But there was really no need. So why take that risk, right? It's actually more risky to fulminant prism and destroy them instantly than it would be to just tab them. Because the real threat is monsters arriving from elsewhere and complicating things. Yeah, there's still some quite not dangerous, quite wimpy monsters here on... Hey! Rude. Here in the dungeon. There are some dangerous ones for sure. We need to be careful. Dungeon 12 is, in my experience, where things start to get pretty nasty. Dungeon 13 is usually too deep to go before doing most of lair, in my experience. But we should keep an eye out. Dungeon 12 is dangerous enough that there are going to be some pretty scary encounters. So I charged at him to get him out of range of, like, flicking spikes. Although I guess he still does that anyway. And then swapped with International so we could tab reach through her to attack with relative protection. Basically just using her as, like, a meat shield in that combat. Sometimes it's important, I think, to do the opposite, to make sure that she doesn't get killed prematurely. But I think they're just using her to protect against the damage output of the Manticore was more reasonable. Yeah, there we go. Good old Conjure Flame. What a spell, right? Where's that Cyclops? An 8-headed Hydra. God, 8 is a lot of heads for a Hydra, I gotta say. Especially with International willing to... Like, if we could park him in some fire and then, like, have him chew through International and then have more fire while he chews through me, like, I feel like that would be okay. But if I tried that, International would just dive into the fire like an idiot. Is there some way you can use transference to, like, make him go through the fire multiple times? Meh, it's a little bit awkward. I don't know. Okay, well, whatever. I don't think we really want to mess with Hydra, so we'll just leave. That's how you deal with Hydras. You don't, you know. Players talk about needing a Hydra solution, which is... Sure, it's nice to have. But even more useful is just realizing that every character except Nagas and Kybriados worshippers has a Hydra solution already. Which sort of I'm implying here is walking away. Yowza! Alright, don't follow me, please. Oh, I forgot. As soon as you leave line of sight, clouds are gone in these days. They used to last a little while, but they don't anymore, I think. Certainly they last less long once you're out of line of sight. So putting down a conjure flame to cover your escape is less useful than it used to be, especially around corners. Okay. Try this staircase. Here's some kind of not so threatening monsters. The problem with Lair is that, like, the monsters in Lair who are particularly threatening are fast, right? And therefore can make it hard to escape. There are some scary monsters in Lair who aren't fast, but, like, because they're not fast, they're actually not all that scary. Let's remember that someone just on this level. That's a bit spooky. I think she had a dagger of draining, maybe? I didn't pay that much attention to it. But she's always a force to be reckoned with. Okay, so there's a Hydra right around the corner. Let's skedaddle. He didn't see us. Amazing. There seem to be a lot of 8-headed Hydras on this floor. I don't think this is the same one over and over. This Ring of Stealth is, like, kind of remarkable. Along with, I guess, not wearing any armor, we're doing remarkably well at going unnoticed, which is great. Not a good enough effect usually that I would want to train stealth for it, but nice to have if it comes for free. Ooh. Alright, this must be the entrance to vaults. We're not going in there at all. Okay, so this looks like enough of dungeon for me, thank you very much. Sonja, short sword of distortion. She's fast, and she hits 3 times. Once with the sword, like, jeez. Does she blink or anything? Yeah, she can. So I think the thing to do is to just put down a conjure flame in front. Of course, the Curari. Well, International won't mind Curari at all. Here comes the Hydra, though. Well, there goes this plan. I was just sort of hoping to keep her neutralized by putting her behind the conjure flame, but I don't know. I guess she spent some of her Curari missiles. And we can therefore deal with her more easily next time we run into her. But I guess the whole point was I didn't want to run into her again, right? See ya. Oh, of course, she's fast. Okay, well, she's out of missiles, it looks like. And a short sword of distortion is still a big threat, of course, but we don't have to deal with that now. Let's head back to Lair. We were doing pretty okay there. Just ran into, like, things were just sort of getting a bit hard. Okay, now he is in the fire and being attacked by both of us. I think that that is probably good enough. Yes. So let's remove this annotation. Anyway, things were just like getting a bit difficult. There wasn't any single monster that was really blocking our progress in the same way that that Orc is right now. Fanar is like making that unmanageable, I think. Or anyway, it's basically just Fanar preventing us going into Orc. Whereas Lair was just like, things are generally kind of difficult, and we have gained some experience since that was true, so now it will be less true, and we can continue exploring more of Lair, I think. It's still going to be dangerous, but yeah, just a bunch of yaks and a snake that made us run away last time or something. I don't know, it doesn't seem terribly dangerous, whatever it was. No annotations, right? Right. More friggin' hydras. There's a corridor here I could use. But it would be better if I could find a spot where International I and I can both hit him while he stands in fire like we did with the last guy. Maybe like here? These 3 spots? That seems okay. Or even just something closer like this, maybe? This spot right here. We can put a fire here, stand on this side of it, and get him on the other side. There we go. Now a fire here will work well. I can't confuse this guy, can I? No, the plant's in the way. Okay, well. Let's put down the Conjure Flame this turn, I guess. Put one there, and then another one. That'll get him a bit more sad. Yikes. Quite a few frogs are joining the party, and for some reason International is not helping? Huh. I see. She's working on the frogs for some reason. I don't know why she realizes they're hostile. Usually she just has no friggin' idea until something hits me, and the frogs haven't. Maybe because the frogs blinked and that counts as an attack? I don't know. But we can Dazzling Spray pretty well like this, so might as well give that a try. And again, seems fine. Okay, yeah, we seem to have this under control. So, yeah, Black Mambas are a lot more frightening than Hydras, really. 11 charges of confusion. Which, again, I'm not counting up to decide whether I should use it, but just to keep in mind when I might be running low, and so that I don't find myself unable to use it in a time when I wish that I could. So that I can recharge it ahead of time, or go buy a new one, or whatever. I probably shouldn't auto-explore. This level's a bit dangerous. Yeah. Pretty good Dazzling Spray, I guess. This is too much in the open, though. Just because I can Dazzling Spray a bunch of them doesn't really mean it's a good idea. Where do we want to fight? Here is like okay, but it's a bit of a death trap. There's not any very good corridors in here. Over here, I guess. I didn't notice it because there's this R, because last we saw that tile, International was there. But, it does in fact exist and is a good corridor to use. There's this porcupine going crazy on me here. Alright, let's take him upstairs, finish him off. Okay, so I guess we're not actually using a corridor so much as just like spreading them out. So they're not hitting me all at once. It was a pretty good dazzling spray though, right? It blinded like 2 of them and they immediately started walking away. Better than I could have hoped for. Alright, by the way, I have Steam Breath. Haven't used it in like 100 years, but it would be pretty good in a lot of situations. Diamond ring. Well, we're not really using these javelins or this dagger. The stones, I'm kind of like, sure, they're a good way to get monsters' attention. Lignification is probably a no-no at this point, as is mutation. Book of Callings, I don't know why I ever picked up. Nothing we want to buy. Try on this ring over the ring of flight. It's a ring of ice. Not very excited about that. But I am excited about having it because it means that I will have swappable cold resistance, which could matter for, like, say, if there were some sort of monster who could cast a lot of cold spells, you know, like an elf of some sort, you know, Fanar maybe. It could be handy to have one level of cold resistance swappable. The Swamp Drake is a big threat because he can confuse me. Fortunately, International is immune to that, so I wasn't too concerned. But if I didn't have a non-living ally, I would have needed to treat that Swamp Drake with a bit more caution. Is that a butterfly? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, how are we doing here? We still have maybe a quarter of the level left to explore. Found swamp. So we have swamp and spider. That's fine. I think those are generally regarded as the easier of the 2 branches. And especially... let's identify the Wand of Lightning. Having a damage conjuration, or wand will be nice. Especially having a hexer, I think we'll find swamp quite a bit easier than... find spider quite a bit easier than snake, because the Nagas have a lot of MR. Okay, well... I think it actually took us 2 videos to clear layer 3 and 4, because we went back to dungeon for a while. I don't think this was all one video. That would be quite a surprise to me. But, okay, well this marks our 3rd layer video, having made it to layer 4. And I think that now is a good time to take a break and end this episode.